Welcome back to Beyond Ball. It's your host, Jacob III, and your co-host, Gabe Caraway. Beyond Ball, of course, brought to you by Dr. Pepper and more Dr. Pepper and Monsters, obviously, in the back. Well, Gabe, before we get into all the technical stuff, let me cook for a few minutes because it's baseball. Rah, baseball. I love baseball. A few things about me. It's my favorite sport of all time. My favorite to watch. My favorite to play. Easy. Done it. Bang it. I just got Gabe to baseball maybe a year ago. He's still not
already
good
fell
at it.
off.
He already fell off. It's going to happen.
I had to watch the Marlins, dude.
I told you, pick the Mariners.
But I like Jazz.
Well, Jazz is on the Yankees now.
I know. Yeah.
Jazz went bye-bye.
I'm not going to be a Yankees fan, though.
No, that's just bandwagon. I would hate you for life. Well, first, let's just get some fun stuff out the way. Dylan Cruz. LSU legend. He made his debut.
Now that I know. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It was the greatest thing of all time. Hit a double off reigning AL Cy Young Garrett Cole for his first MLB hit. And the second game took Carlos Rondon deep for a home run. I thought that was the best thing of my life. I actually was ready to run through a wall as I watched it at work. Next thing, Danny Jensen. Gabe, what do you know about Danny Jensen? Who?
Not a thing.
Well, little backstory. Danny Jensen is actually the ridiculous stat of the day. He's the first player to play for two teams in the same game. Theoretically, it should not be done. But baseball's weird, and we like weird around here at Beyond Ball. Baseball's weird, and so back in a game a few months ago where the Blue Jays played the Red Sox, it got rained out and canceled. And Danny Jensen was actually up the bat in a 1-0 count. So a month later, in early August, he got traded to the Red Sox. And so this past week, they replayed the game because it's replayed. And Danny Jensen actually was catching for the Red Sox while Blue Jays had to bring in a pitch hitter in the 1-0 count that they were in. And now Danny Jensen's the first player played for two teams in one game. So there's your stat of the day for all the stat boys out there. And for the final, just raw baseball segment, so I can have a little bit of fun. Poor Bobby Witt Jr. He's having the best season of all time for a shortstop, or at least on pace to it. But there's a guy named Aaron Judge. Gabe, you know who Aaron Judge is? Yeah.
He hits dingers.
He hits like a lot of bombs. He's like Barry Bonds, apparently. I don't really know. I think so. He's on pace for the actually
better than Shohei
season. Oh, absolutely. We're gonna get into that in just a second. And he technically, he's on pace for one of the best seasons in all of baseball since Barry Bonds' 72 home run season. So Bobby Witt Jr. has one of the best stats of all time. He's on pace for 8.8 B WAR, which means win above replacement. Which means when he's in, he's winning. When the Royals are winning, boo Royals. I'm a Tigers fan, so boo Royals. But I guess cool Bobby Witt Jr. But the guy named Aaron Judge is on pace for like 11 WAR. And statistical speaking, that's a lot of WAR, if I say so myself. But that's only the AL side. We're gonna go. That's AL side. We're gonna go to the NL side, where Gabe knows him. Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Fastest person to a 40 season, 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. Best player of all time, no doubt about it. He's most talented. I want to say the best player of all time. That's Barry Bonds. Most talented player of all time is
Babe Ruth, man.
All right, so we're gonna keep on speaking here. I forgot Gabe don't know anything about baseball.
Nope.
And so pretty much Shohei Ohtani got injured with a Tommy John surgery, and he decided to be a designated hitter for the Dodgers, and just casually puts up some of the best hitting stats that you can see of all time in Dodgers history, and the dude can still throw a 2.33 ERA. I wanted to shout out Marcell Ozuna for being a dog. Ozuna from the Braves. Love him to death. Gabe, have you seen that video with Ozuna from the Braves?
I see it in comment sections, just like the phrase itself.
Yeah, that's fair. He got pulled.
I know
over
it's a meme.
He got pulled over for a cop, and he said, "Yep, I'm Ozuna from the Braves." Like Olave from the Saints.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That's just a quick little plug. Ozuna's having a really great season, and he's going to end up second in MVP voting, and probably would be MVP if Shohei Ohtani wasn't Jesus Christ itself. And so to end the baseball segment, Aaron Judge is good. Spencer Torkelson is good. Tweaks Scooball is winning Cy Young, and Gabe needs to get back on baseball. Hooray!
Yeah. I will take the reins here from you, actually.
Absolutely. Go.
As I lead into our first segment of NFL, CeeDee Lamb has been paid. Took way too long. It was a 4 or 5 month saga at this point, maybe. It's been a while. Jerry Jones is kind of selling. He sold the whole offseason. Everybody knows that. We'll get into one of their signings later. That's, only one of the only signings they made. But CeeDee, yeah, had to get the deal done eventually. No question about it. Top 3, 4 receiver. He's getting paid the second most AAV behind Justin Jefferson, which is fair. Jettas is better. I'm not hearing anyone out. Sorry. So yeah, the numbers: 4-year extension, $136 million. He's got the biggest signing bonus ever for a receiver, $38 million. Second highest paid non-QB, behind Jettas, of course. So you had to get it done, obviously. But one thing to note: Micah Parsons also needs some money. He's good at what he does. So
he's gonna decent. I mean,
yeah,
he
could play a little bit of running back. I saw him practice. They had him at running back.
He need it.
That's because it's a stinky running back room. This is not 2016. Also, Dak would need a new contract soon. I don't believe they should give Dak the money. I really don't, especially if it means losing Micah. Heck no. I don't care about quarterback being the most important position. Worst case, you trade Dak or something, or you can draft one because they don't have anybody to develop behind him right now. I don't even know who their quarterback 2 is, to be honest. Is it Trey Lance?
Rush.
Is it Trey Lance? He's still there?
Trey Lance is QB3, correct?
Okay. Because he threw 5 picks. So.
Oh, it was terrible. I remember watching that game. I was getting so mad. I'm like, you were a first-round pick. You were the 3rd overall pick. The 49ers traded 3 first-round picks for you, and you're throwing 5 picks in a game, and somehow y'all
Preseason.
still won.
Yeah.
Preseason.
It's crazy. So, yeah, the CeeDee contract had to get done, and that's about all.
Well, it's done. It's done. It's over with. The Aiyuk saga. Oh, thank God it's over with. We can stop talking about it. It's a good day to be an NFL fan. You don't have to hear about any more Aiyuk drama. He got
CeeDee.
4 years, $112 million ish, right? That sounds
120.
Right. Yeah. 120. The AAV is $30 million a year. Now, this should have been done a long time ago. Honestly, yeah. he got offered $33 million per year for a contract, and he didn't take it. Asked for more money. This should have been done a long time ago. I'm just glad it's finally over with, just so I don't have to talk about it anymore, because it's been bad. It's been rough. I'm glad it's over with. And hallelujah.
Yep.
Definitely the
So
49ers be better. Aiyuk can be back to practice.
yeah,
Drafting your fantasy team over Debo. Debo's
I
still
did.
a second round grade.
I did in the Titans league that I'm in. He's my receiver 4, so I cooked in that league. I cooked. I was out there cooking.
I know for Debo, in the preseason when he played, he couldn't get any separation on a fourth string quarterback on a curl.
He's a very specific receiver. He's not. You got to use him the right way. He's not really a man-to-man beater kind of guy. Route running.
He's more of a slot guy, if I say so myself.
Yes.
Like
Zone. He's a good in zone.
If you have Aiyuk over on the perimeter with Ricky Purcell on the perimeter too, and then you have Debo in the slot, it's beautiful. That's perfect. And then you still got Papa Kittle waiting, just sitting there.
CMC on a wheel route.
And then you can't forget about who's Juszczyk. I'm just saying, best fullback in the league. Bring back fullbacks. I miss fullbacks in the league, and yeah.
Kari Blossingame, Titans legend fullback, with the Bears now, I believe.
What a guy! Man, shout out Mike Allstott for really evolution as the fullback.
So he's the 6th highest paid receiver now. I believe he's tied with Tyreek Hill, I believe it was. And then I think it was Jalen Waddle that was right under him. Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know what Jalen Waddle's doing up there. Kind of a polar bear, an Arlington situation, if you ask me. But so yeah, Aiyuk, thank the heavens. It's over. I'm glad that they kept him. The Steelers, I just think he would have rotted there because they don't have a quarterback. Brock Purdy is obviously a better option, at least in their system. Another thing, we do not have a segment, but Trent Williams. Oh yeah, they are also not giving him any money yet. I don't know what they're doing. That's their whole offensive line. I understand that age is probably the biggest concern for them. I don't know what kind of extension he's asking for because they probably don't want to pay him over 2 years, I would say, because he's almost 40. No, he hasn't shown any signs of dropping off, and he could be a Whitworth kind of guy who goes into their 40s. But that's another thing to note for the 49ers. But, this is not more important than Trent Williams, but that's the 2 guys they had to worry about this offseason. So it's over. Let's thank God, he's not a Steeler.
We can finally breathe. It's over with. But you know what's not over with? This stupid Jamar Chase talks. It was actually shown yesterday that Jamar Chase was not at practice, and I was wondering what the heck's going on. And then I'm like, oh, he still doesn't have a contract.
Yeah.
What the freak? So
I think was he a year early on his contract though?
Yes, he has one more year. And he still has 5th year option ready to go too.
Yeah.
Unless that is his 5th year. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
I'm just sitting there.
So
Jamar, just play this year, please.
He practiced on Sunday, I believe, but now he's not practicing again. And maybe it was yesterday or the day before. He showed up late to practice. Street clothes situation. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, he could arguably demand a higher contract than CeeDee, in my opinion, and that wouldn't be crazy. I think that's what he's asking for, is like right below Jettis.
I don't think he deserves it. He's a top, okay. Let me go ahead and say, right now he don't deserve it. Maybe 2 years, maybe. But CeeDee's only 27, 28. CeeDee's not that. He might be young.
25 or 26, maybe.
Yeah, he's very young. Chase.
He's like 24.
If I was Chase, I would ask him right below CeeDee at like $32 million per year. Get it out, get it over with. Get your money. You got paid.
He should be top 5 and paid for sure.
Absolutely. He's a top 5.
I don't know.
Top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, easily. So they need to, stop messing around. You're already going to lose T. Higgins after this year. Everybody, it's the secret that everyone knows. I mean, the Bengals, they're not keeping T. Higgins because they're going to have to break the bank on Jamar. T. Higgins will be a Titan, so I'm looking forward to that.
He's so
Can't wait.
He's so a Saints. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nah, Hop's going to ride off into the sunset, and then T is just going to step right in. It's going to be perfect.
I'm drafting Hopkins in like the 10th, about the 8th round of my fantasy leagues. He better show out for me.
As long as he plays week 1, he should be good.
Hopefully. I mean, I'm not having him on my starting. Actually, I'm debating on one of my leagues with Jameson Williams and Deontay Johnson. What a predicament I'm in.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a 16.
It's not great.
14-man league, 16-man league. It's a lot of people. I'm sitting there. I'm like, now, what do I do?
I don't like those big leagues.
It's kind of weird. Like,
it's intimidating.
It's my first time above a 10, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm looking at my final pick. My final pick was Greg Dulrich out of out of the Denver.
The Broncos tight end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh. One of my running backs is Bucky Irving, MIS legend right there.
Oregon legend.
Legend, MIS legend, MAIS legend. Gonna be Bucky.
Where do you play?
Legend. I want to say it's one of like the 3A schools, I believe.
Let me look.
And then Trey Benson.
Take us into our next receiver topic.
If I right now, if I'm a Commanders fan, I would be pissed. Jahan Dotson traded to the Eagles. I mean, for Commanders, you're asking yourself, brother, huh? I mean, it's legit now Terry McLaurin and some fellas who they picked up off the streets. Oh, and Luke McCaffrey.
De'Ami Brown mentioned. We are here. The fan club. The fan club is here.
I am not here. I'm like out the door. I'm actually trying to get out the door.
I mean, yeah, as your receiver too is wild.
Luke McCaffrey, I'm knocking the door, waiting for him to be starting. Wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. I'm all for it. Now, Scary Terry, drops him all your fantasy leagues, but that's besides the point. If I was Jay and Daniels, I'll be sitting there. I'm like, where's all my people at? Who am I supposed to throw to?
And to a division rival too. That's the most surprising part. It's like, really? What was the goal? Like, I don't know.
Like you're sitting there. If you're sitting there, a Commanders fan, you're thinking, I know Jahan Dotson wasn't good. He was a first round pick out of Penn State. I thought he would be so much better, but he's riddled by injuries, which is okay. But you're sitting there like, you lost Curtis Samuel during the offseason to Buffalo. I mean, that didn't really do much, but still, had no quarterback to give them the ball. And Curtis Samuel can be dangerous when he's healthy. I will stand by that. He's
a gadget guy.
Bills. He is a gadget guy. I agree. But like now you're sitting there like, okay, so we lost Jahan Dotson, lost Curtis Samuel. All right, scary Terry down there somewhere. I mean, you're not looking.
You have to put Eckler out there at receiver too.
All right, so
not ideal.
Next thing. All right, so Luke McCaffrey fan club can stand up. We are thriving. I am here. We are here. I don't think Gabe part of it, but I am.
No.
Whoever the tight end is, fan club stand up. I don't know who their tight end is. Is Logan Thomas still there?
No, it's not football team legend Logan Thomas. Dotson, the thing is, I don't even know if Dotson's gonna be able to beat out Johnny Wilson for the Eagles at receiver 3.
See, I've heard that Johnny Wilson.
I heard he's doing good.
Wide receiver 7.
I heard he was doing good from somewhere.
It probably was, but if legit like thinking about it, you have AJ Brown, you had Devontae Smith, You had Quez Watkins. He left during the offseason, which
Southern
was
Miss legend.
okay. You can live with that one. That was as a Madden legend right there for all of us. But you're sitting there thinking, all right, who's gonna be a wide receiver 3? You drafted Johnny Wilson. Yeah, he's tall. Can't catch, but he's tall.
Not fast,
but
he's tall.
No, he's not. He's just tall. He's just there. Honestly, he's just there. He's standing there, look tall. He's like, oh, that's a tall dude, and he's not playing tight end. Who's this guy?
Red zone fade, you go crazy.
Hey, toss up to him. I'll allow it. Then if you're an Eagles fan, you're rejoicing because you have a really good wide receiver 3 in Jahan Dotson. He had around 2,000 career receiving yards on the Commanders/football team. I don't know. Bring back Redskins. But that's besides the point. Yeah, bring him back. Hey.
I like the football team too, honestly. I did. I don't know if it's because of the Madden franchise or what.
It was a name of all time. I can tell you that much.
I liked it.
It was definitely a name of all time. I remember them announcing for the football team. I'm like, I mean, it's a name.
It's definitely a name.
It's definitely a name of all time. But if you're an Eagles fan, you're happy. You're Commander fans, you're sad. And if you're a Giants fan, you're depressed. Plain and simple.
Yeah, all the time.
And speaking of depressed fans, Matt Corral. The Matt Corral fandom is at an all-time low. I put this in here actually just for me, just so I could say this.
Yeah, that's all you.
Matt Corral was supposed to be the face of the league. Matt Corral was supposed to be the best Panthers quarterback in history. Matt Corral was supposed to bring them to the Super Bowl and beat whoever was against them. Probably Mahomes. He just never got a fair shot. Now, is he good? Absolutely not. He lost to Sam Darnold and Brett Ripken. Tell me, who is that guy?
Bears legend.
Oh, and Jaron Hall, which I found he got cut today too. Led the
BYU legend.
Yeah. BYU. He led the preseason in touchdowns. I really thought he was going to make the roster. So Jaron Hall and Matt Corral fandom is at all-time low. And it's a sad day to be in those two fandoms. And I'll let Gabe have fun with this little Titans talk.
Yeah, it's time. It's time to cook. I just want a couple things I want to get out the way here. Chance Campbell, preseason legend, star of the preseason easily, and our king Chestnut, of course, but star of the preseason, weak linebacker room. We needed him. He was going to start.
Do a quick timeout real quick.
Why are we doing a timeout? I was cooking.
Tulane is now beating Southeastern Louisiana 49-0.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it was bad at halftime. So,
all right, time back in. Sorry, I had to point that one out.
Let's just where was I? So yeah,
you're cooking.
Hold on. Where's the movie thing?
Take, bam.
All right. So yeah, Chance Campbell, man, preseason legend. Already a weak linebacker room that we had. He was gonna start. He had a chance to start regular season. Here's his ACL, out for the year. And then I find myself in Chick-fil-A on Monday, and I'm getting my food. It's taking 35 minutes, of course, because it's Chick-fil-A on a college campus. I look down on my phone, and I see our king, Malik Willis, is now gone. He's in Green Bay. He was terrible. He's a horrible quarterback. But preseason legend. He was out there cooking. Bryce Oliver, him and had a connection against the Saints 2 times. He threw a rope. He threw an absolute rope on his first touchdown. That was a laser. Gone. 7th round pick to Green Bay. And then to make my week worse, I wake up Wednesday and look at my podcasts. And my favorite podcast, Titans podcast, gone. They called it quits. That was it. 4 years. They're gone. Just a bad week to be a Titans fan. 3 straight disasters. I cried all 3 times. And then, you know what week it is? It's cut week. The roster's getting cut down. So you know there's always sacrifices. Caleb Farley.
Goodbye. God. See ya.
No. Hold on. Listen, I love the guy. Great guy.
Oh, true legend.
Obviously, lost his mom to cancer 4 or 5 years ago. And then last season, before the season, house explodes. His dad gets killed. I mean, just a terrible. You got to really feel for the guy. And he was still fighting through injury to get back on the field. He just had the heart of a lion. Couldn't stay healthy, but the man himself, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And, I hope he gets a shot somewhere. It's not going to be with us.
What about the player himself?
The player, he wasn't very much on the field. So, I only remember he played in that Tuesday night Buffalo game like 3 years ago because of COVID, and he had like a good tackle. That's all I remember.
Hey,
that was his first game.
Madden legend. He's like 6'3", always have high speed. Madden legend. Plays always. Early Madden legend. Earlier Madden legend at least. Now Madden not so legend. He's just there.
He's not a legend. No.
Sorry, I had the call our game just do something. Oh, it was a flag. Oh, boo call. Sorry.
Yeah.
There was something good about the Titans week though, right?
There was. Trey Avery's gone.
It's a good day to be a Titan.
He is horrible. He can't cover anybody. I got tired of watching him get cooked every single week, even in preseason. But I want to take this moment to remember 2022, Trey Avery. What a goat. He was the goat. He was the goat. I mean, listen to our cornerback room that year. Christian Fulton, Caleb Farley, who didn't play because he was injured. And then we had Elijah Molden. So, and then Trey Avery. Trey Avery is a Titans legend just for those 3 games that he started that year. He's terrible now. Thank God he's gone.
I want to shout out Chester Rogers real quick.
Dude, what do you know about Chester Rogers, man? What y'all know about Chester Rogers?
Anything about Chester Rogers?
Oh my goodness.
That was a good.
Can I post that highlight tape that I made to our Instagram?
No,
remember
that's gonna go up.
The later. Cardinals.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
I think that should be like a little intro thing right there. But Chester Rogers was a living legend. I remember seeing was it the COVID season? I believe.
It was 2021. We just got Julio that offseason. Playing against the Cardinals at home.
And then Saints were playing the Packers 38-3. And then we turn on the Titans game. And then we see them lose. But we see the GOAT, a living legend that would never known to enter our lives by the name of Chester freaking Rogers.
King.
He's great. Why is he a legend? We don't know. He was the only good player on that team. That's all I know.
Yeah, when I attach that film from that Cardinals game, you'll know. He was cooking them.
Beautiful.
He was out there cooking them.
Anything else on the Titans?
Oh, do I?
Buddy.
I got a bunch. Of course, our king collectively. Chestnut made the roster. RB3.
It's a
RB3.
Good day to be a Chestnut fan.
Yeah, he's great. Hassan Haskins, he was terrible. We cut him. He's gone. So, Jabari Small from Tennessee, rookie, we cut him too. They didn't show anything. Chestnut, clear best preseason running back we had. Great to hear that he's RB3. He's not going to play, but he's on the roster. That's what matters. And I'd like to shout out the Los Angeles Titans secondary. So they signed Christian Fulton in the offseason. Terrible. Terrorist. I hate him. Anyone over 5'11" losses him. Michael Pittman is his daddy. Every single game he played the Colts. he just got there getting owned. And then we traded Elijah Molden to the Chargers out of nowhere. I don't know what that was about. We kind of needed the depth, but, there they go. They can have our 2 weak secondary players. And then Ran. My man Ran Carthon. He's out here cooking. I was like, hey, man, we need some linebacker help. And there's this guy in Los Angeles, Ernest Jones. Had a pretty good year last year. Team captain for the Rams. He's like, all right, here go 2 more for y'all. Let me go get this Ernest Jones guy. So we get the Rams team captain to lead our linebacker room. This is a great day. I think we gave up a 5th and got a 6th also. So that was the trade. That's a pretty good deal. Now we just got to give him a contract. Injury concerns when we got him, but he's already out there working. He's already out there practicing. That's what we love to see. We love to see Titans players not getting hurt because I've seen it too much. And then small little preseason recap section here. The starting offense, electric in the preseason. Electric. Nothing else you can say. How many halfback screens did we throw? I don't know. It was a lot. I can tell you that. O-line. I was out there cooking, watching film after every game. J.C. Latham's him. He's out there mauling dudes. He's throwing those little boys around. Him and Skoronski, thank God we got some left tackle and left guard play. I got tired of watching you who shall not be named, playing left tackle 2 years ago. We will not have many rules on this podcast. That is a rule. We will not say who that played left tackle for the Titans 2 years ago. Okay. Andre Dillard, that's okay. But the other one, you don't say his name. Okay. It's the first rule. Highest scoring offense in the AFC in the preseason. People are asking, are we the best offense in NFL history? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think anybody have ever said that.
I heard it. I'm telling you. I walked by somebody today. I just heard it. Levis, my king. 11 for 13. 153 yards. 24 points and 4 possessions in the preseason. My king. He was out there cooking the Saints. I know it was like 5th strings, but playbook was great against the Saints. Pollard and Spears, they're electric. Love the duo.
Spears almost died.
I don't know what Tajay was doing. I almost cried. I thought he got injured. Sneed's practicing until he's fully practicing till the Chicago game. This is great. Can't believe we actually have a good cornerback room. It's the first time since I've been a Titans fan. I will remember Malcolm Butler, though, Titans legend. And then DeAndre Hopkins, we mentioned him earlier, trending up to play next weekend, too, against the Bears. So we love to see it. We may not have anyone significant hurt going into a game. That's never happened before, especially in a season opener. So we're here.
Well, I'm glad you had fun with your whole preseason. Mine, not so much. Well, sit down with the Saints. First, let's just do a little little moment of silence for since this was cut week, for the guy I really thought was gonna make the roster. USFL legend or XFL legend. Sorry, my fault. XFL legend. Guy that I thought was being a return man this year. We haven't had a good one since Deontay Hardy. I guess that's his name now, or Deontay Harris. What a guy!
Yeah.
But Samson Nakua, my goat, my living legend. I'm gonna do a quick moment, real quick. It was a good run. He had a amazing punt return against the Titans. That they're like 15th string tight end, hauled butt from like the 80 all the way to the 1 yard line. I don't know. I think it was
Thomas Odukoya, baby,
something like that. Number 24 on our team just did not block him at all, and just let him hit Samson Nakua. I was like, really? I hope you got cut. I think he got cut. I really don't know his name. Some bum. Hope he got cut just for that, honestly. And another sad news. Kendre Miller. Another reason why we should pick Tajay Spears over Kendre Miller. He got put in IR. Yeah, he's gonna miss
TCU legend.
Gonna miss about 4 to 6 weeks. Hey, I mean, he was gonna be third string anyway. Jaron Williams and Kamara. Still don't know why we picked him. I think we could have picked Puka. I'm just saying.
Everybody had a chance to pick Puka. No one knew what he was going to do.
If I was a GM, I was not picking Puka. I would pick Keyshawn Booty. That's just me, though. Yep, that's just me. LSU bias and all. I don't really care. They had the same numbers. Fight me. One was in for BYU, and the other was for LSU. So, before we just start doing, I honestly might just pull that skit at the end. Why would I be a bad GM? Never know. I might just pull that on Gabe in just a second.
What?
So, you heard me. So the next thing is, I really thought this guy was going to make the roster. I thought he was going to be a backup, strong safety, competing for a starting spot. Jonathan Abram was cut. It was really sad about that because I really thought he was going to make it. Alontae Taylor wanted him to make it too, from the tweets I've seen. But is there going to be a possible practice squad return if he clears waivers, which I doubt he will. He actually showed out during the preseason. I think he was in the play where Spears just jump up in the air all willy-nilly trying to hurdle 4 guys, and here comes Jonathan Abram, kills him. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Okay, cool. But just a little slight news. Honestly, don't know why we did this, but we did need some defensive depth. John Ridgeway traded like a 7th round pick from the Commanders. I saw this trade. I'm like, now, who is this guy? Looked on PFF. He had 39.6 PFF grade. I'm like, brother, what are we doing? I looked. I'm like, oh, defensive tackle from the Commanders. He must be good, right?
That's not Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, that's not Johnny Newton. John Ridgeway. Oh, some white dude. All right, let's see who he is. Oh, he's bad. All right. Well, way to cook, I guess. I don't really know.
Brian Brees season.
Hey, I'm all for it. I still don't know why we drafted him, but I'm all for it. I mean, we need a defensive line, especially defensive tackle help. I'm still mad about picking Cesar Ruiz over Patrick Queen. But that's just me. I mean, we got Pete Warner and Demario Davis, but Demario Davis is like 400 years old, so he's ancient. He's getting up there in age. But one more slight news. I don't think Gabe knew about this, actually. LSU legend, LSU National Championship, Andres Deculus What a guy! He signed with the Saints. I think it was today when I saw it, and I'm like, I mean, he won't do much, but hey,
Nope.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
He was probably the weakest part of that line, 2019. Probably.
Was he like a true freshman in 2019?
No, maybe.
Or was he?
Yeah, I thought he was like a junior because he played 2020, I think.
I thought he also played 2022.
No.
No, I might be tripping.
No. I don't think so.
I don't know. I just talk. I just yap, honestly. But a little recap about the Saints preseason. Spencer Rattler should be RB2. Jake Hayner should be cut off the face of the earth. Derek Carr is still terrible. Kamara is Kamara. And our defense is elite. Plain and simple. And now to spur this on Gabe. So this is why I'm not an NFL GM. Ever heard Justin Blackman, Gabe? Yeah. Justin Blackman was a very special dude at Oklahoma State. And very, very, very
Jaguars legend.
Jaguars legend. I would have took him in the top 10 pick. I'm just saying, 1,800 yards his senior year. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at him like, now this guy's pretty good. He ended up not being really good.
He had one good year. Rookie year.
He was out of the league in like 3 years, and he actually just filed for bankruptcy. So that's just for that on game. And now that we're done NFL, here's a little recap of the NFL segment. Jamar Chase is greedy. CeeDee got paid. Ross Saints. Titans suck. And Chiefs are winning Super Bowl. Plain and simple. And now to get into the last little part is some college football. Just before we get to our very favorite segment that we're going to do each week, let's just do a little recap. Let's calm down for a second. I saw this coming from a mile away. I honestly, but really when you watch the game, it was like, now, what? Okay, just whatever, cool. Georgia Tech upsetting Florida State. I saw it. I don't know if Gabe saw it. I know Seamus saw it from College Game Day.
I couldn't watch it, but I watched it after some highlights.
Shout out College Game Day in Ireland. I went crazy. Shout out the announcers for actually drinking beer on camera on the announcing pit while announcing the game. Oh, it was a vibe. It was a good day to be a college fan. But I'm gonna cook with this one, Gabe. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to take the reins real quick.
No, I got some notes. I'll just let you go first.
All right. So DJ Uga Babdalaba needs to go put fries in my bag at McDonald's because Buddy cannot throw a ball past 2 yards. At halftime, he actually was a very efficient quarterback. It was like 12 for 14.
1927, I think.
Yeah.
Overall.
At halftime, he had a average throw distance of -0.1.
Yeah, -0.1.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, this guy's not good no mo. Nope. I don't know what happened that COVID season at Clemson when he whooped Notre Dame for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. And
he was still up and down that year, though.
And then he was pretty good at Oregon State. I mean, he wasn't great, but he's pretty good.
He just stayed.
Yeah, I agree. But, I mean, who would have stayed at Oregon State? Especially right now, how bad it is. 2-year Pac-12. I'm all for it. Pac-2. Hey, great. But shout out Georgia Tech. Shout out Haynes King for really cementing a good game that he needed after last year. Last year he was good. He was actually one of the better ACC quarterbacks. His only defect, he also led the ACC in interceptions. Yeah, I mean,
that's not good.
That's not good at all. Especially the ACC. I mean, there's some good teams ACC, but there's also really,
Yep.
really,
Yep.
really bad teams. Yeah,
Yep.
I'll let you do some final touches.
So, yeah, DJ Youngale, he's he's a red X bust on like a CFB 25 when you scout somebody and they have like the X through the diamond. Yeah, he's one of those. Yeah, you said the negative 0.1 yards per attempt or air yards per attempt in the first half. That's ridiculous. I mean, he was efficient, but like he was throwing it 2 yards. So, check down Merchant for sure. I will say I watched the final drive that they had. He looked okay. He's actually not horrible at the sport. But overall, I mean, you look back as a career perspective here for DJ, really rough. 5-star. Obviously, it was he had to live up to Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, but it just up and down at Clemson, and then goes to Oregon State, isn't horrible, and then leaves. I don't know. I think he should have stayed at Oregon State. I guess the opportunity at Florida State, I understand. That's enticing. Obviously, a better team than Oregon State. Although I don't know if they would have lost to Georgia Tech, but whatever. Florida State lost a ton of guys. Everyone knows that. It's apparently the reason they lost to Georgia last year and they got whooped. So for me, one of the biggest things that I saw, and I had to look this up obviously, but this is Georgia Tech's first victory over a top 10 team since 2015, where they beat Florida State in 2015.
I didn't know. Oh my gosh.
So I don't know when they're going to play them again when they're in the top 10, but we can expect Georgia Tech to win. Dominated them up front. 196 on the ground for Georgia Tech. 5.3 yards per carry. I mean, Haynes King was out there cooking. Let's just go ahead and say it. Offensive line was dominating up front. I know Florida State lost some guys, Verse and Braden Fisk, to the draft, but you can't let Georgia Tech just throw you around like that. But yeah, shout out Georgia Tech, man. Who knows? Maybe they could get ranked this year. I don't know.
I mean, their run game was absolutely amazing. As a man who loved running the ball, run the dang ball behind that big offensive line. As a former offensive lineman, run the dang ball. That's the key to any victory. And Georgia Tech showed it. I saw Haynes King truck somebody on the 1 yard line for a touchdown. I'm sitting there. I got hyped. I jumped up and down. I don't know where I was at. I was just jumping up and down, getting hyped. Oh, I was in middle of the woods at a retreat, and I was jumping up and down, and saying, "Yeah, truck up!" I was ready to go out there and fight for him, honestly. But when you're Florida State, you can't let a lower level ACC team throw you around like that.
Yeah, no. You can't.
Spit on you, slap you in the face and call you daddy. I mean, you're sitting there, you're Florida State fans, just go take a seat for a little bit. You've been through a rough year.
Yeah.
But it's time for
Maybe
our
next
final
year.
segments for today. Oh, absolutely next year.
This will be a weekly thing.
They still
we
have
hope.
a chance.
I hope.
We hope.
I hope this will be a weekly segment.
Good games.
Yeah.
But it's time for the college football. Here it comes. We got 4 games. The first game is going to be Clemson at number 1 Georgia in Atlanta, Georgia. Gabe, who do you have?
I have Georgia 34-17.
I don't really think there's any way that it can go. I have Georgia.
Yep.
I don't have a score. I didn't know we're doing scores. I actually came up with one last second. I actually have 42-21. Georgia.
I can see that.
Georgia's offense is going to be way too much to handle for Clemson. Their big boys are going to be way too much to handle for the Clemson's defensive line. Clemson's good. Don't get me wrong. Clemson is a great team in the ACC. They're going to win. They're going to win it this year after pretty much of a down year last year. Last 2 years, honestly. But they're going to come back strong. I think Dabo Swinney's going to have this boy riled up. But you're going into Atlanta. You're going into the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, which is not far from Athens, Georgia.
Yeah. It's
and
a home
you have
game.
To play a team that just whooped the Florida State team. Keep in mind, I'm going to calm this down a little bit. They're playing a bunch of other freshmen. But 63 to, 3? I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Yeah, that's not right. And you're Clemson. I think if you get this game close, that's a win. In my book, I will have a lot of respect for you. If you go into Georgia and you absolutely dominate, and hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The big thing is for Clemson, you have to get this run game going. You're losing Will Shipley last year, and that's a tough blow for them because he was such a good running back for them. But it's just you're gonna have to go in there. You're gonna have to not be scared. Cade Klubnik's actually gonna have to play like a 5-star quarterback and not no scaredy cat.
Yeah, that's the top thing. I could see. I had 17 for Clemson. They could easily score less than that. I don't even know if they'll get to 17. That's my top note is Cade Klubnik. That's kind of where it all starts with Clemson. As a sophomore last year, wasn't great. 102nd in PFF passing grade. He had 63.9 as a 5-star.
I didn't know that.
At Clemson. With a pretty decent team around him too. So he's got to come out hot. He's got to come out improved from last year. He's got to finally take that step that led to him being a highly touted recruit. He's also got Dabo Swinney, so that helps. I think he'll be able to get the most out of him. I think he is going to take a step this year. But Georgia's stacked. We know this. It's essentially a home game, as I said. So the environment's not going to be kind for Clemson. I know Clemson isn't very far from Atlanta in reality, but it's going to be loud. It's going to be loud. So. It's going to be hard for Cade Klubnik in that environment. But pause. I'll wait too long. Something I did not know: Clemson had the second highest rated defense last season, behind Michigan.
Oh.
Now,
okay.
Opponents obviously a little bit different for Clemson. Their opponents, but the defense can obviously play at that level. Clemson always has a pretty good defense under Dabo Swinney. The biggest thing, they lost to big guys in their secondary. Andrew Makuba to Texas, safety, and then Toriano Pride to Missouri, who just had a pick six earlier. So those are two pretty big losses for Clemson. I don't really know who's going to step up in the secondary. You still have Peter Woods up front on the D-line, who's a dog. Will he be able to get pressure on a pretty good Georgia offensive line? I don't know. He's going to need some help. And I think that's the biggest thing. If they can't get to Carson Beck and at least knock him off schedule on some of their plays that they wanted to run, it's going to be a tough day for Clemson's defense. It's going to be a tough day for Clemson in general.
Very much so. The next game we have here is number 19 Miami going to Florida. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think.
I do, yeah.
I'm not high on Miami as other people. Cam Ward's a good quarterback, but Florida, they got. I feel bad for Florida because they actually have. Hold on, let me rephrase that. I feel bad for Florida for their schedule, not for the actual team. Screw Florida.
No, I hate Florida.
I hate them. But this is a decently talented team. I think Graham Mertz or DJ Lodway, whoever starts, whoever plays, whoever just goes out, is gonna have a good year. But if you're Miami, this is trap game all over. Even though it's number one, it's the week one. You have to go to one of the hardest places to play in the whole entire country in the swamp. Where I've been one time, and when they played LSU, that thing was rocking. I was actually scared of my mind. I thought I was going to get jumped as a little fourth grader.
Yeah.
I remember specifically from this game, LSU missed a field goal, and everybody around me just started pushing my mom and dad and me, flipping us off. I'm like, I'm scared for my life.
Yeah.
And if I was Miami, I would be really, really careful. You have to go into the swamp, and you have to actually go play football with the big boys.
Yeah.
I do have Miami winning though, but I think the score is gonna be like 24-21, something along that range.
We agree.
I think
same exact score.
The perfect score. I think it's gonna be a big defensive game. It's just gonna stand out comes down to how Cam Ward's gonna play. Another one is how Graham Mertz is going to play on Florida's side. I could really see Florida pulling some sort of magic and they actually win. But Miami fans will be there because it's like a 3-ish hour drive, so it's not like a full home game. So Miami fans should show up for it, probably really drunk. But honestly, Florida fans will be just as drunk, but that's okay. No doubt in my mind. But I'm just sitting there, I'm like, how is Cam Ward going to play? How is Mario Cristobal going to get his squad ready for this game?
So, as I said, we have the same exact score for this. I kind of feel similarly. It could easily be Florida, 24-21. It just kind of there's a few factors I need to see. It's new quarterback for Miami. I mean, Cam Ward, obviously at Washington State, good quarterback, had a good year. But the story for Miami last season was the rushing game and how balanced they were. Over 2,000 rushing yards as an offense, so they were more balanced. I don't know if people normally think of Miami as being a run-heavy team normally, especially I can't remember their quarterback's name that they've had for the last couple of years. The white guy.
Haynes King.
Yeah. Well, there was that and Tyler or something.
Wow.
There was some other white guy.
I remember Haynes King off the top of my head.
But they got Oregon State's Damian Martinez also in the transfer portal. He had a really good year last year. So Miami's got to get the ground game going. They got to establish that. Immediately get back to the attack they had last year. And they can really dominate this game if they want to, because they have obviously Cam Ward and they have good receivers to throw to. He's not one thing. It's going to be a key here for Florida on defense. Cam Ward's not overly fast. He's not like he's not going to run a bunch of read options and whiz by you every time. But you got to get pressure on him, and you can't let him scramble because he will get yards. He loves to pick up yards on scrambling. So Florida's going to want to limit that. He's good at throwing at all levels of the defense, so it's not just about getting pressure. You got to actually hold up. And Florida's secondary is pretty good. They did get Cormani McClain coming over from Colorado. How will he play? Hopefully better than he did at Colorado. He didn't look great out there, but he's a 5-star prospect, so he has the talent. He's just got to tap in, Yeah. And then they got also Asa Turner coming over from Washington in the transfer portal as well to help out their secondary. So they got to play aggressive on defense, as I said. You got to get to Ward. And that's going to help out in the secondary too. You give them less time to throw. Obviously, that's good for your team. Florida will flip over now. Florida, Graham Mertz, we kind of talked about it. He's got to show improvement. Good, not great last year. That's how I would categorize him. DJ Lagway is going to be a stud.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. DJ Lagway could definitely start by the end of the year. Obviously, going to roll Graham Mertz this game unless something goes horribly wrong. Obviously, Florida, they lose Ricky Pearsall. So Eugene Wilson, Elijah Badger, they got to step in. And they were pretty good last year as a trio. So I'm pretty confident that those two guys will step up in his place. That's going to be big for their offense. And then Montreal Johnson, is also going to need to get. He's going to need to be the leader of the running back room this game. It's a tough Miami defense, and especially on the defensive line. So if Montrell Johnson can get it going, Mertz can come out there. That's why I said Florida can easily be the one who wins this game.
I think it's going to come down to the final possession. But what's not going to come down to the final possession is our next pick, Notre Dame, ranked 7 Notre Dame at 20 ranked Texas A&M. I do not care they're playing on Kyle Field. Jacob Addies, I don't care. Notre Dame going in there winning 35 to 14. No doubt in my mind. Riley Leonard is going to show why he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I've been believing him on day one since Duke. And Gabe, you look astonished. Why?
I'll let you cook. I want to get some more reasoning out of you.
You want to hear me cook? All right. Notre Dame. Yes, you're losing Andre Estini from last year. That's okay. Yeah. That's okay. We can breathe about that. But you're getting, I think, a upgrade at quarterback. Yeah, you lose Hamstring Hartman. Oh, he's so handsome. But easily, Riley Leonard is a dog. As I'm actually multitasking watching the North Dakota State run down the field right now. I'm going to multitask and talk at the same time. While Gabe also does.
Should we pause? Should we pause?
We're not pausing. I'm going to talk while doing this too.
Okay.
And whatever happens, happens. It's going to be a podcast. And I'm thinking Riley Leonard's going to come in. He's going to say, okay, don't care who you are, gig 'em Addies. It's going to come in there, whoop him by 80. And then probably say in an interview to his English teacher that he missed a project. Can he retake it as he did that against Clemson? Shout out that interview. Oh my gosh, they're right out the field. I'm so sorry. And so pretty much, Connor Wayman's gonna have I think is gonna get stopped by this Notre Dame defense a lot better than you think. He's losing his top receiver in Evan Stewart in the transfer portal, and they weren't really good without Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin was not a good head coach. I'm not saying that at all, but they weren't any better without him. That might just be me being really biased because oh my gosh, he took
it's Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah. Oh man.
You said you said Lane Kiffin, so I was like,
yeah, thank you.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Wrong one. Jimbo Fisher. Hey, Jimbo Fisher, sorry. And just all in all, Notre Dame's going to go into Kyle Field, beat them. Sorry, the quarterback just threw a dot to the coach. And he's going to go into the field and be like, yep, gig 'em Addies. Put 35 on their head while holding them to 14. And that is my final statement.
I am way different on this prediction. This is going to be a defensive game, man. I have Notre Dame 14-10. This is going to be a defensive game. I think you're really underrating playing in College Station for Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame, again, Riley Leonard is an improvement over Sam Hartman. Yeah, they lost. Yeah, you're a little bit behind, aren't you?
I probably.
Obviously, Riley Leonard, he's an improvement over Sam Hartman. No one's contending that. Had 1,100, 3 touchdowns in only 7 games last year at Duke. He's also a little bit mobile, 350 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. So I believe he got injured last year. So, stay healthy this year for them because he can definitely have a better year than Sam Hartman did. And I just think he's going to elevate their offense, even though this is a week 1 game and, everyone's kind of getting everything figured out anyway. He'll also be benefited from a very great offensive line. Obviously, they lost Joe Alt to the draft. But I think the line, Notre Dame always has good linemen. They're always going to develop good linemen. Doesn't really matter who they lose because it's just a factory. They just keep replacing them. So he's going to have that going for him. Home field is going to be very important to this game. I think you're kind of underrating that playing at College Station. I think it's going to be tough for him. I don't think there's a wide gap between the two offenses here, personally. That's why I kind of think it's going to be a defensive game because the defenses are very similar. They're very strong, both of the defenses. Weigman for Texas A&M, he's an above-average quarterback. He's nothing special. If he takes a step this year, I mean, yippee! I don't want to see it because I hate Texas A&M, but I just think he's kind of is what he is at this point. Maybe he shows me something this year, but it's going to be hard because you don't have Evan Stewart. I don't really know who's going to step up in his place. Probably not going to be anyone. It's going to be more of a committee thing, if I had to guess. But Notre Dame is obviously loaded on defense. It's pretty much every year. It's not really a question. Benjamin Morrison, who's going to be in talks for the Thorpe Award all year long. But I would like to highlight that Texas A&M is no slouch on defense either. They obviously lost Walter Nolan to Ole Miss, but they still picked up Nick Scourton from Purdue, who is a pretty good defensive end. And I think the defenses are going to be so evenly matched that I just can't see this being a high-scoring game for either team. Even for Notre Dame, the home field, I think you're really underrating the home field. I could easily be wrong here, and they could be a blowout, but I just think the offenses, there's not any major differences between the two, so I don't think Notre Dame putting up 34 would kind of shock me, unless someone just absolutely breaks out. I just think it's going to be a very greedy game. It's going to be battled out in the trenches and won by the defenses, whoever wins this game. I'd also like to ask, when's the last time Notre Dame played in College Station? Does anybody know?
Has Notre Dame ever played Texas A&M?
I don't know.
I couldn't really tell you. I didn't really
I
think
will
about
look.
that.
I will go look.
Well, man, Southeastern loss. Sad. Well, whatever. Now it's time for...
Notre Dame has a 3-2 series lead all time.
Well, it's probably 4-2. Don't care. All right.
They last played in like 2000, I think.
Now it's time for the true game of the week. Now we can get done with all this Florida, Texas A&M, Georgia talk. Let's talk about real football. LSU football. As number 13 LSU is going as actually at number 23 USC, but it's played in Vegas. In the words of Will Campbell, we're not there to gamble. We're there to have a fist fight in Caesar's Palace. Maybe run through a wall. Don't care. LSU's winning like a lot to a little. I'm just kidding. It's like about, I think it's gonna be 28-21. Their U.S. defense isn't really good. They aren't. But I'm gonna have a but on this one. I don't know what to expect from our defense either. Be honest with you. We saw it's not Matt House anymore. Hallelujah. I'll have to watch a Matt House game. It's not Matt. It's Blake Baker. He's gonna be better than Matt House, like 400,000%. But it's
He cannot be worse.
But it's his first game, and they are playing a really darn good USC team. Yeah, they lose a pretty half decent quarterback in Caleb Williams, but he was only half decent. He wasn't. I guess he was number one overall pick, and also kind of the next Mahomes, but like whatever. But you do have a guy who I really like actually personally, and Miller Moss. Last year when he played Louisville in the Holiday Bowl, granted it's Louisville, but he went for 23 for 33, 272 yards, 6 touchdowns, and had a pick. Yeah, okay. Hey, he's a pretty good quarterback. He can have a pretty good quarterback year. Just one defect. USC's defense is still honestly awful. Oh, they're terrible. Like they have a new defense coordinator, and Deontay Lynn came over from UCLA. I don't know what that does, but okay. The big thing about this game is how's LSU's new look defense is going to go. Hopefully, Billy Baker uses Kendrick Perkins. And, wow. Harold Perkins.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
Hold up. Kendrick Perkins mentioned. I'm going to get that. But Harold
He's a terrible
Perkins,
analyst.
Oh my gosh, awful. Hopefully they use him in the right way he's supposed to be used. Let him go rush after the quarterback and let him go get a bunch of sacks. Yeah. Let's do the PG. Let's do the PG.
He likes sacks.
We need sacks, a bunch of sacks, and nothing but sacks.
Yep.
But it's just, I think LSU's going to be perfectly fine. It's going to be away. It's going to be in a way. It's going to be more away than you can really think of. And USC's no slouch. But I honestly, I can see this game be a more high scoring offensive game. So I can have it. I'm gonna have it probably at a floor of 28-21. But I have a ceiling at I can see this game going to the 50s. To be honest with you. 50s.
Yeah.
Actually, I like in the 40s. I'll put it in the 40s.
40s, yeah. 40s better. I have LSU 34-17. But the first thing, my first note, of course, is defense. Because we have no idea what is going to come out on the field. We really don't. Obviously, spring practice and fall, and that's not really a good idea. Especially, it's not a world-beating offense from USC, but they don't have it's not some FCS offense either. Miller Moss he's a guy that brings a lot of experience. He's a senior, but he's only thrown 92 passes in 12 games. So it's not like he's been playing a ton of football, but he's been around college football. So he's obviously learned some stuff. Lincoln Riley is still a good head coach. He does not care about defense at all. It's not even on his mind, I think.
Never heard of her.
He doesn't know what it is. It's really bad, but he can develop guys. I'd say that on Lincoln Riley. He can develop guys. So I think Miller Moss, again, as I said, he hasn't thrown a lot of passes, hasn't started a lot, but he's not some true freshman. He's obviously going to know how to run the offense by this point. We need to pressure him and get him off schedule. Mm-hmm. That is what we need to do. Will our defense be able to do that? I do not know.
Now, hey, I know a guy.
Yeah. I know a couple guys.
We know a guy.
Yeah.
And he wears number 7.
Will Blake Baker bring this team out of the depths of being a bottom 20 to bottom 10 defense that we had last year? I think he will. There's no chance he is worse than that. It cannot be worse. It's the worst defensive program history, for sure. Ask my dad. I don't know how long he's been watching LSU, and that's definitely the worst he's seen. Certainly longer than I have. And then, obviously, offensively, it's the Nuss era. We're all on the Nuss bus. I have a window seat. I think you're stuck with the aisle.
I am
so
the aisle,
sorry.
Unfortunately. I got on last.
So I'm really, you know what that meme? It's like this bus driving, and there's one guy on one side, and he's looking at like a mountain, and then the other guy's looking at like a open countryside.
Yeah.
And it's like you put like a negative thing and then an optimistic thing.
Yes.
That's kind of us on the Nuss bus. He could go out there and he could be Danny Etling, who was just kind of serviceable.
Oh no, we do not say that name here. I see him.
Well, I was gonna say Brandon Harris, but I don't want to go that far.
Definitely will say no. Danny Etling single-handedly ripped my heart out of my chest. Looked at it, threw it on the ground, stomped on it on the tour game. I remember going to that tour game. Were you there with me, Gabe? Were you at that tour game with me?
Yeah, we went. Yeah, you brought me to that one.
Yes, and I remember.
You turned your jersey inside out or something?
I remember just sitting there thinking I was the luckiest kid in the world because I got to go to an LSU game against a bottom tier league team, and we're going to go in there and we'll buy 4,000 points, and we're going to get out there all hunkadory, right? Single-handedly grab my heart, twist around through it, and maybe not watch LSU football for the rest of the year. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So we don't say Danny Etling right here. Now, Garrett Nussmeier. Go back to it.
Yeah. Garrett Nussmeier, he will be. I don't want to put a projection on him. I don't want to say Heisman. I don't want to say any of that. But I think he's going to shock a lot of people. I think he really is. Obviously, the offense around him is exceptional. The receivers are great. Need guys like Kyron Lacy and Aaron Anderson to step up, though. Kyron Lacy, fix the drops. Aaron Anderson, do something when you get the ball. I think we need to probably use Aaron Anderson a little more this year. And then secondary.
Their defense. Actually,
the secondary is kind of it's just kind of stinky. We're relying on a lot of guys to step up. Sage Ryan and Major Burns are obviously they've been here a while, but we know their coverage is bad.
Major Burns.
Now, Jordan Gilbert coming over from Texas A&M, he's a pretty good safety. I'm expecting a lot out of him. I think he's going to show out. But at corner specifically, we got Toviano, who's a sophomore. Ashton Stamps is a sophomore, who had a really good spring. Zy Alexander, the Southeastern transfer from a couple years ago. This is his last year. And then PJ Woodland, who is a true freshman. Those are kind of the top four guys at corner. Sage Ryan can play some corner. He's still too short for that, but I think he's better at corner, especially in like the slot, nickel kind of guy. Mm-hmm. We need somebody, anybody in the secondary to show out. Because even up front, I'm more confident in our front seven than I am our secondary. We just need to use Perk the right way. I think Blake Baker will get that correct. Rush him, but drop him in coverage if we need to. We don't need to play him as Devin White. He's not Devin White, okay? We don't need him in coverage all the time. We need him rushing the passer sometimes, most of the time. And then guys like Deshaun Womack, Savion Jones, Braden Swinson, they just need to get pressure. That's the number one thing I think we need to do against Miller Moss is get pressure and force him off schedule. And then also watch out for Zachariah Branch. He's pretty good.
He's pretty fast.
Yeah, we don't need to let him get in the open field. And defensively, I don't have a lot to note here for USC. It's bad.
It's a defense.
Bear Alexander's pretty good. We need to make sure we block him. And then Eric Gentry at linebacker.
Yeah,
they're kind of the two stars.
I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to block Bear Alexander. That's just me, though. I mean, I'm just here. I mean, we just casually have a top 5 group of offensive linemen.
Top 3. It's the best in the country.
Honestly, I'm gonna show my bias here. Top team in the country. Is there anything else we have to add for this final game?
I feel like we got it. We got our scores. All
right.
That was our last topic. So,
well, to end off episode 4 of Beyond Ball, Southeastern sucks. We just lost a lot to nothing to Tulane, which I saw that coming. Monster, Dr. Pepper sponsor us.
Please.
Colorado, I don't know. Cool. LSU, please win, and college game day, please be lit. And Saints, please do something. And thank y'all for watching today's episode. Please follow, please share, just do all those good jazz, and thank y'all.